Hi friends! If you're familiar with me or my channel, you know that I promote physical fitness, strength, health, and wellness. But even with all that being said and working hard to be the strongest I can be, I am not the strongest I can be without God's power released in my life. How do I do that? Well, several different ways. Don't you want God's power released in your life to be the strongest that you can be on this earth? Well, the first way is through faith. And so I go to Hebrews 11:1, which describes faith as faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So it's trusting in something that is not seen. And that's hard in this world, isn't it? We're like, we want to see it. We want to see the facts. We're all like researchers now. We all need to know and we need to see before we believe. But I go back to Genesis 22, which talks about the story of Abraham. That story is the perfect example of true, real faith. So I was going to read it, but it's too long. On your own, go to the Old Testament, Genesis 22, and read the story of Abraham. In summary, basically, Abraham and Sarah wanted a child. Abraham was 99, Sarah was 90. So physically on this earth, it was pretty impossible. People lived a lot longer back then, but they still had no children. God came to Abraham and said, I will give you a son. Abraham believed, had no doubt, believed that God would provide him with a son. And guess what? He did, his son Isaac. So then God pursued Abraham's faith and said, I need you to sacrifice your son, Isaac, for me in a burnt offering. I'm summarizing. So that's exactly what Abraham did. He did not doubt. He just walked in obedience. And listen, he bound up his son, who was a preteen by this time. So Isaac willingly went, bound up his son, and presented him as a burnt offering. And right before Abraham was going to sacrifice his son, an angel of the Lord said, stop. And so he did. And God had provided a ram in the woods as the sacrifice. So Isaac did not have to be killed. But my whole point is revealing that story is that was Abraham's faith. He knew that God would come through in the end. He trusted God with his only son, Isaac. And so that is true faith. So God is looking for that kind of faith in you so his power can be released in you. The second way is through prayer, communicating with God in our day, having set times to talk to him, or even, when you're driving in your car or whatever, he is craving a relationship with you, craving you to communicate with him. So through prayer, you can change people around you and situations around you through including God in your situation here on earth. You can even change yourself, change what's inside of you through prayer. So I continually ask God for wisdom. God tells us in the Bible, if we have a pure motive and a pure heart, he will give us our requests. Just like when you have a child and your child comes to you and says, can I have this? Well, you want to give your child that because you love them, right? Same with God. Present your requests to God. Believe that he will answer them, and he will. God is our strength, right? Number 3, surrender yourself to God. Instead of working harder, trust more. Let God work, following his lead, expecting a miracle when you don't know the answers. When you rely upon God to work it out, you don't always have to be in charge. So recently I was in a situation, and I know you guys are in situations too. We're on this earth, right? It's going to happen where we don't have an answer, where you're like, I have no idea. I don't know what to do at this point. So recently I had that, and I was like, God, I don't know. And I just prayed, and I'm like, please, God, I'm depending on you. I'm surrendering to you because I don't know. And sometimes it doesn't happen quickly, right? Sometimes It's on God's timing, not on our own. But in this particular instance, by the end of the day, he had put things into place to answer my prayer. Things that I never would have even imagined. But God is at work, even though we don't see him at work. He is at work for our good. So he answered my prayer. And I was so grateful and so thankful that he had. Number 4, get to know God. Jesus wants us to experience him on this earth, and we do that through his Holy Spirit. And I wanted to read to you John 16:7. John 16:7. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away, for if I do not go away, the Helper will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will convict the world concerning sin and righteousness and judgment. Concerning sin, because they do not believe in me. Concerning righteousness, because I go to the Father and you will see me no longer. Concerning judgment, because the ruler of this world is judged. So God sent us the Holy Spirit to be with us on this earth. When you have the Holy Spirit working inside of you, you get to know the God of the heavens on this earth. He's working inside of us. So getting to know God and getting to know the Holy Spirit inside of you. Number 5, let God, my dog just walked in. Hi, Zeke. Number 5, let God work through you. Bring what you have to the table and God can work miracles. So God has blessed all of us with talents and gifts and certain personalities. And guess what? He can use all of that, and he will use all of that. So it reminds me of the story in the Bible, John 6:1 through 14. And I won't read the whole thing because it's a lot, but on your own, I'm going to ask you to look it up, okay, in the New Testament. It's John 1 through 14. It's when Jesus feeds the thousands through a couple loaves of bread and a couple fish. So he asked the disciples to give them what they had, and they did. And it was 5 loaves of bread and a couple fishes. And Jesus took that and multiplied it and was able to feed thousands and thousands of people. So Jesus asks us to bring him what we have, and he can work miracles if we bring him what we have. So have faith in God when you don't see a way, and he will provide a way. Find God in the hard times by choosing to trust and hope when we can't see a way. Release God's power in your life by focusing on faith, prayer, surrendering to God, getting to know the Holy Spirit inside of you, and letting God work through you. That way, you can be the most powerful that you can be by releasing God's power in you every single day. Thanks, you guys. I know this was a little long, but I just wanted to share that with you today. Have a great day.